Hey Duck fans, Kurt here, co-owner of FishDuck.com. Welcome to yet another FishDuck one-on-one podcast. This week we have one of our own. Mark Flores is joining us. He is our resident recruiting expert. And with the recruiting class all signed, sealed, and delivered now, I figured it'd be a good time to sit down with Mark and really discuss some of the ins and outs, some of the finer points of this year's recruiting class, and a few other tidbits. So, Mark, thank you very much for joining us.
Sure.
Well, let's jump right into it and take a look back at Oregon's recruiting class. They signed 21 commits this year, a little down from the previous year. I think they had 24 in last year's class. But this class is interesting for a couple different reasons. One, it addresses the depth chart really well for needs. Two, you can start to recognize a certain body type of athlete that the school's looking for. And three, it was some really top-notch talent. If you look at the services, somewhere between top 10, top 15, kind of varying. But what was your take on the overall recruiting class for Oregon this year?
Well, we have a lot of big and tall athletic guys. I mean, Arik Armstead, just to name one. Like you were saying about the different body types, we're definitely straying away from, I guess, maybe the SEC style of lineman versus a very athletic, very fast, a little bit more mobile lineman, even on both sides of the ball, just with Armstead being able to play both sides of the ball. But in regards to just his size, I mean, he's 6'8", but the guy can run up and down the field like a linebacker, versus one of those big pudgy linemen that just kind of fills holes, and just to bull rush people. You'll see a lot of swim moves, a lot of lining up on the edge and just trying to blow past people versus using his broad strength. I mean, he's really strong anyway, but in regards to just the way he plays is athletic. He's probably not going to use his brawn as much as he's going to use his quick kind of just, getting to the line that way.
Armstead was the only five-star blue-chip recruit in the class, but certainly there was a lot of talent top to bottom that was brought in. Armstead, though, is a dual threat in that he also intends to play basketball. Now, we see athletes from time to time. A lot of guys will play football and they'll go out for the track team. We don't see it that often where guys will play basketball and football. Some names that pop to mind: Charlie Ward did that. Of course, Jordan Kent at the University of Oregon, Tractor Trailer at the University of Michigan. And I'd say Armstead's probably built most like Tractor Trailer. That's probably the best comparison.
Yeah, if he materializes as a basketball player for Dana Altman, definitely a lot of low post bruising. If anybody's seen his highlight videos, I mean, he has a lot of kind of the Shaq elbow throwing. He's really, really physical under the basket. So I mean, definitely look for somebody who's gonna hit the boards probably pretty hard to get a lot of second chance points.
This class was also interesting in that there were more local Oregon recruits than there usually are. Oregon's not a state that produces a lot of D1 talent, but we saw quite a few guys come out who were local guys. Oshay Dunmore, Balducci, Buffaro. How do you see the local talent fitting in with the team?
Well, I know that one name that really popped out to me was Brett Buffaro, and even he caught the eye of Kelly too, especially at the camp that he attended. Kelly said that he dropped pretty much everything that he was doing to actually go check out Buffaro, and I think it was like 3 or 4 straight plays. I mean, Buffaro's name was coming up, so Kelly just dropped what he was doing and headed over to that practice field where Buffaro was playing. And I mean, talk about a guy with closing speed. He was all over the field, blowing up plays and catching people in the backfield. So as far as for an Oregon representing, as far as the players we're pulling out of this state, I mean, from a few years ago, I mean, where you might have 1 or 2 Division I players, I mean, now you're getting some serious talent coming out of the Portland.
There's a few X factors in every class because Kelly loves to recruit just great athletes, and then we'll figure out where they fit into the roster. So some of these guys, they're projected for a position, but who knows where they'll end up. One of those that really stands out to me is Oshay Dunmore from the Oregon coast. I believe he's from Newport.
Yes.
He has set or broken just about every track and field record there is in the state of Oregon. So no doubt he's going to go out for the track and field program too. But is he a wide receiver? Is he a safety? Is he what?
I'd have to say right now, if I were to call him something, I mean, he's got great speed, he's got great athleticism. He played quarterback in Newport. I mean, he's not going to line up as a quarterback for the Ducks, but I could definitely see him on defense. I think as a corner. I think he could definitely play a little slot receiver. Beyond that, I mean, it's just you kind of got to see him, in spring ball and then in the spring game to see where he's going to land, because, I mean, he's just a flat-out great athlete. I mean, you could put him in a lot of places.
Or next year's recruiting class. The Ducks actually already have one commit, a superstar, again, from Portland. You were talking about local talent, Thomas Tyner. Tell me about Thomas Tyner.
Thomas Tyner has about the weirdest looking run in the open field, but man, the kid can flat out fly. I mean, he looks like he's going to fall over about every other step, but I mean, once he gets through that first wave, man, he's gone. And I mean, that should make Duck fans just smile everywhere, because, you know, we're going to see the exit of Kenyon after next year. I'm not going to say that Tyner's going to pick up all his snaps by any means, but man, I mean, the guy's big. He's a little bit, I'd say he's a little bit bigger than most, you know, the kind of the prototypical Oregon running back. He's a little tall, a little bit more bulkier. I mean, when you see the guy with just pads on, I mean, he's huge. So, I mean, I think that just, I would say too that he's maybe a little bit of a departure from maybe the scat back. I mean, I think he runs a little bit more at contact than some other Duck running backs in the past. Like, he's not like D'Anthony definitely tries to make you miss first. Tyner definitely doesn't stray away from contact. I think that might be something to look for when he comes to Oregon, to see if he, you know, continues that, or if he, you know, tries to bounce outside a little bit more. Because I mean, up at Aloha, I mean, he's just running over people at that level, and he's got just blistering speed as a running back.
So let's talk about overall comparisons. You know, hindsight's always 20/20 to look back on recruiting classes when you can look at the stars, and there's always the diamonds in the rough that are coming out. There's like 2 or 3 star guys that end up in the NFL, and the 4 and 5 guys that sort of bust. Mm-hmm. But in the greater scheme of things, where do you see this class fitting in terms of the all-time greats and overall talent for the University of Oregon?
I definitely say this class is solid, and just with, you have speed, you have athleticism, and you have size. And for all us Duck fans out there that have just been whining and complaining that we haven't been able to recruit any D linemen, we got some.
Here you go.
I mean, there was a study just released that showed that there really isn't a huge correlation between a program's, you know, recruitment of 5 stars versus, you know, 3 stars, and how that, you know, just plays out as far as wins and losses go. I definitely think there's value to 5 stars, because I mean, there obviously is a difference between a 1 star and a 5 star. I'd say this class maybe doesn't have as much flash factor as far as like maybe skill position players. I mean, we have some solid skill position players, but you know, we don't have somebody with like D'Anthony's hype, I guess, maybe I mean, and I'm talking like huge hype, you know, coming out of high school. You know, Braylon Addison, Dwayne Stafford, solid players. I mean, have tons of talent. But I think this class overall is going to be maybe a little bit more of a sleeper compared to some other classes that were recruited by even Pac-12 schools and even like some of the SEC schools. I think you're going to see a lot more every down, just hard-working players coming out of this class. And beyond that, I mean, I definitely could see some contributors right out of the gate with Armstead mainly as a headlining on the defensive side of the ball.
What's your perception on how Oregon recruits? Because they go after guys that are not necessarily always the top-rated players. They go after guys all around the country, whoever fits the system best.
I think that too. I mean, Kelly said time and time again that they don't chase players. I think that, I mean, to me, that means that, you know, they got a list of people or players that they want to target, and then, you know, they're thinking that the way they played in high school and the way they played their prep ball is going to translate well into Oregon's system. So I think it's just a matter of maybe not finding the players that everybody else considers, you know, this is the cream of the crop, but what players Kelly and the rest of the Oregon staff considers their best players for their specific way they run their offense. Because there's a lot of, like for instance, D'Anthony Thomas is not going to work in a power I as a running back. I mean, we've created a position for him. You know, it's just, I mean, he's got that little hybrid position out there that, you know, that you don't see that anywhere else, and he is the perfect fit for that little niche in Oregon's offense. So I think it's just a matter of, and Kelly said it time and time again, that, you know, if they have a targeted player that wants to come play the way Oregon wants them to play and the way that Oregon thinks they can fit into their offense, great, it's awesome. And then if they don't want to play that way, you know, they're just going to go on right to the next guy that they think has potential, and bam, we'll just, you know, keep the process going that way.
Mark Flores, thank you very much for joining the FishDuck one-on-one video podcast. You can catch this every Thursday, and you can catch Mark's articles every Wednesday on FishDuck.com covering recruiting. So, Mark, Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Go Ducks.